Hey Val, how are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. I feel like my voice sounded really fake with that, but
Yeah, like it was okay though. It
it's
was a
always
nice.
super awkward to like start or end a podcast too, because I'd be like, what do I say?
It's like when you're trying to like leave a family event, you're like, oh, okay, I need to
Yes.
go.
I hate leaving family events because I'm always like, okay, I'm leaving now. And then everyone's like, what? I'm like, okay, what?
You have to say goodbye 10 times.
Yeah, I know. And then it's always a process getting out the door because there's like
Yes. Especially
so
if you
many.
have your dogs, you have to catch them, or if you have stuff to take with you. Oh my gosh, yes.
And usually when I go to my parents' house, I do have stuff because every time I go there, they're like, okay, take this, take this, take
Yes.
this,
They
which
totally
I
like Lynn would
appreciate.
load you up. Yes,
Yes.
100%.
And
So
it's also
episode 7. Oh, sorry, you were like,
No, it's okay. It's all good. Are we really already on episode 7?
I know. It's
That's
so
crazy.
awesome. I've
That's
got to
awesome.
talk to you like at least 7 times, 7 more times than I did last year, which I love.
This is very true.
Yes. Also, happy 2021.
Yes, as I was just about to say, it's been so long since we've recorded.
Mhm.
I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever.
I know.
I'm excited to get the tea. What happened on Christmas?
It was good. I mean, it was, I don't know that for once, I feel like the time didn't really rush by, but it was really enjoyable time. Lots of like walks with the dogs and just like not necessarily productive, but not like I would never call it a waste of time. Like there's a few times I got sucked into TikTok, but I mean, it's still been really good. And I worked in between the two holidays a bit with a few Zoom meetings, but it's been good. It's just different, right? With the lockdown. And one of my clients is a nurse in Simcoe, and she's been talking about how full their ICU is. And I'm like, it just makes me a little bit more mindful about being like, oh, yeah, like, let's go do that. And it's like, oh, probably should just follow the lockdown for a month.
I know it was hard the first lockdown, but I feel like this lockdown has definitely gotten a lot harder, especially with it being around Christmas,
Yes, around the holidays.
around the holidays. Yeah, because like I have time off. I put in quotes. So I want to do all these things with all the people that I haven't seen and all the family I
I
haven't
know.
seen, and some people are taking it seriously, some people are a little bit more lax, so you still get those like
Yes.
invites to do things and you're like, well, should I probably shouldn't, but I
Yeah.
want to. It's kind of like an internal struggle that I think a lot of us are going through.
Yeah, because everyone's at different ends of the spectrum where I think I guess there's a super extreme, but there is like a happy medium that we all need to gravitate towards if we ever want to be out of lockdown,
Exactly. And it's
right?
just that fine line between like respecting the lockdown but also like not making yourself go crazy. Like I couldn't sit in my
Yes.
bedroom for however long this lockdown is going to last.
Yes, exactly. And before we jump into the new year, I think we should talk about the fun thing that we did on what was it, December? When was it? When did we make the cards for the retirement homes?
Oh, like maybe it was like a week before Christmas.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. We, with the help of Emily Stowe, one their
Yes.
grade 7A class,
Yep.
we made cards for every resident in Maple Manor, a local retirement home, and then in its Oxford Gardens, we made 100 cards to go to their residents. So that was a lot of fun. We spent the
It was a lot of
afternoon
fun.
and just cranked out Christmas cards for people that
Yeah, we
may,
cranked the Christmas music, cranked the Christmas cards.
yeah, and it was for residents that may or may not see family, especially given the lockdown. But we also know that sometimes they just don't see family no matter what. So that was a lot
Exactly.
of fun.
Did we get a final count on how many cards we made? Because it was 300-ish.
Somewhere in there. I can't remember, but yeah,
Yeah, I can't remember either. It was definitely over. I think it was over 300.
I think you're right. So that was a lot of fun. We did that, and then we had Christmas, and then New Year's, and now it's 2021. And how do you feel about it being like a new year? Does it feel different now that you own your own business?
Yes, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I everyone always is like New Year's resolutions, like new year, new me
Yeah,
type thing.
I've never
And
gotten excited about that stuff though.
me neither. But I also think it's a great opportunity it's almost like a fresh start
Yes, agreed.
because
That's how I feel about this year.
yeah, me too. And I wish that COVID was gone and we could have a real fresh start.
I know.
But that's just not the world we're living in,
That's
but we'll
right.
get
Yeah, we
there.
have to live in the now, but it's good to dream about the then.
Yeah, so I'm excited to kind of get back to work, get back to working on the podcast, get back to selling some houses, get back to doing some more community involvement, which I think we'll talk about a little bit today. What was that face?
My mic just had a moment.
How do you feel about the new year?
Yeah, this would I say be like this would I would English. This would be probably the first new year that I'm excited for. Like I've never been someone to set like super hard goals and chase after them, but I definitely feel more of a like this is a blank book. Like that whole, what is it, 365 pages and 12 chapters, like to really look at the year and what do I want to accomplish? How do I want to feel? And it's like, for me, it's not a financial number that I want to reach for my business, but it's like, how many people do I want to help? It's how many, like, it's just looking at how we want to align ourselves for the year.
I
So
love
I'm
that.
excited.
I'm excited too. And I like what you said about helping people, but also I'm really excited to help myself as well.
Yes.
Because I do want to, there's a couple of things that I want to work on personally and with the business. I think one of the big things with New Year's resolutions is that for me, especially when I was like in high school, I would just put so much pressure on myself because it's a New
Yeah.
Year's resolution, you have to do it. And it has to be like a good New Year's resolution. It can't be like
Mhm.
a small thing that you change. It has to be like, oh, I'm going to lose 100 pounds. I'm going to stop eating sugar. I'm going to go to the
Yeah.
office
Like
every single
extreme.
day from 9 to 5. Yeah, like it's just
Yes.
unrealistic.
Right.
So this year I've kind of toned it down, and I've thought about a few things that I want to change in my day-to-day life, and just like
Yep.
small little things that will
Micro
hopefully like
habits.
exactly. It really does start with those micro habits.
Hmm. Do you have any that you want to
So
share with
that's what
us?
yeah, I can share a couple. One thing I really, really want to work on personally with myself is not feeling guilty about doing what's best for me.
Oh,
Do
I
you relate
like
to that
it.
at all?
What's that?
Do you relate to that at all?
Yes, 100%, especially
Yeah.
when it comes to, like, I think for me, sometimes it's putting other people's needs first and not doing what I should be doing. So it's not that I don't feel guilty, it's just that I choose what's not best for me. But then I like procrastinate, or I put myself on back burner where I'm like, oh, I probably should have taken the time to do that instead.
Right. And I think we've kind of touched on this before as like overcommitting yourself or
Mhm.
like spreading yourself too thin. Because I know I personally struggle with saying no to people. Someone
Yes.
asks me to do something, someone asks me to hang out, someone asks me like even small things like, hey, do you want to FaceTime for half an hour and catch up? And I'm like, yes, let's do that right away. But meanwhile, I have so many other things on my plate right now. I really don't have the time to do
Yes.
that. But then if I say no, I feel guilty. And I'm like, well, how would I
Yeah.
feel if
So,
I put myself out there to ask someone to do something and they were just like, nope.
right. But scheduling the time for yourself. Yeah. So like better time management, right? When it comes down to it, kind of.
Yeah, it's better time management. And yeah, I think just like also taking the time for yourself and for
Yes.
myself
And
each day.
prioritizing your time.
Exactly. And being effective with my me time. Cause sometimes I have me time and then, like you said, I get sucked into TikTok for three
Yeah.
hours. And then I'm like, okay, I
You're
either
like, wow,
have
that did
to,
nothing.
yeah, I either have to get back to work and my me time is gone, or I have to actually focus on doing something that is going to re-energize myself.
Yes. Hmm. That's good. That's
What
a
about
really
you? Do you have any
micro habits, I would say. Like I want to get up earlier, and I always say this, but I'd like to get up and just whatever it is, but do something for me for half an hour. If it means get like usually I get up at like closer to 7, but if I get up at 6, and that gives me some time to like get myself ready for the day. I'm doing dry January, so I'm gonna see how that goes. And then what I'd like to do after that is only drink like on weekends, not during the week, and trying not to watch TV at night during the week because that's a real time sucker and it keeps me up really late. So just truly like keeping my week, and my weekends can be like a little bit more relaxed.
I think waking up early is something that is like I would love to chat with you about that because I don't know how I feel whether or not waking up early is like the better thing to do or if it's a
Mm.
personal preference. What do you think?
I definitely think that it's a personal preference. Like on weekends, like today I didn't get up till I was up at 8, but I didn't get out of bed till 11. And then yesterday I slept until 11. But like I find I think it depends on household and opportunity because like our house is up at like 6:37 no matter what. So like if Grant's here, I need to be up. But if I get up when he gets up, then it's like I can give him the TV time or whatever. But I don't have that like quiet time for myself. So like I don't always think that getting up early is the best thing though, because for me, I love my sleep. So if I got up every single day at that time, I'd be burnt out. Like there has to be balance to it. So I think everyone like preaches the 5 a.m. get up, but I don't think it's what's best for everyone.
Right. And that's something I've always found interesting because personally, I don't like to get up at 7 a.m. and start my day at 7 a.m. I'm perfectly okay with starting my workday at 9 or 10 p.m. or not, yeah, 9 or 10 p.m.
Yeah.
The dream, 9 or 10 a.m. And that just means I work a little bit later if I have to, or
Yeah, but and that's where it's whatever works for you. I just find that if I don't get up before other people, then my day just like starts with things for other people. Does that make sense?
that does make sense. Do you feel more productive when you wake up early?
If I have like the things I want done, yes. Like if I'm like, okay, I did my own thing, I took care of myself, whether that be like a little workout or a dog walk, and I'm ready, and maybe I've done the dishes, then I do. But if I get up early and I don't do anything, then I'm just like, okay, I could have slept for
Right.
2 hours instead of sat on my phone.
Exactly. If you wake up earlier, do you go to bed earlier then that night?
Yes. So that's where stopping the TV during the week is a little piece that fits into that. So if I'm in bed at like 10 o'clock, then I'm good. And if I'm up at 6, it gives me 8 hours.
Yeah, that's like the adult kind of way to sleep, and like how people, I think, see adults, like people sleeping in kind of are seen as maybe lazy or immature.
Yeah, but then like if I stayed up till midnight working and I want to sleep till like 9 o'clock, I don't want to feel guilty for that because I did the work and now I'm just
exactly. And I feel like I do feel guilty if I do that.
Yeah, because it's almost like you wake up and you're like, oh, like the rest of the world is going, but it's like you're also working while the rest of the world is going to sleep. So it's not, or not the rest of the world, but you know what I mean. But
Right.
like you just move around your chunk of rest. There's nothing wrong with yours versus mine.
Exactly. How do you feel if you sleep in? Like, how do you feel like your spirit and your mind? Like, because sometimes I know when I sleep in,
I
I
beat
feel
myself up a little bit.
yeah, and then it like kind of I feel drained almost, even if I slept
Yes.
more, because I'm like, oh,
Yeah, because you're almost like battling yourself more than anything. So you're like, oh my God, I could have done this instead of that. Like even today when we didn't get out of bed until 11, I was like, oh, if I had gotten up at 8 when I was awake, I could be done all this stuff and then I could just do stuff for myself this afternoon. But like you just because then
right.
like you have to give yourself some grace and be like, okay, well look at all the rest I got and I don't need to do everything today. So prioritize what you want to get it done, and go do you.
Right. And I think that also kind of interlocks with spreading yourself too thin, especially when you're laying in bed in the morning, like on your phone or even on my laptop, getting some emails done still in bed. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's 11:30 and I have a client meeting at 12. And now I have half an hour to get to the office, get ready, and all those things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So that's my feeling on sleeping in. It's what works for you. And I think our parents like, I don't know, growing up you might have been seen as like a lazy teenager if you slept in, but it's like, well, I wasn't like you're not up till midnight. And even if you are playing video games, as long as you get the things you need done in the time that you have, then it's whatever works for you.
agreed.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
100%. So yes, that's my new year. Just a few like micro habits. And I'm looking forward to it. Like it's gonna be a little different because our little guy is gonna be home, so I'll be homeschooling him for 2 days of the week. But it's okay. That's where prioritizing my time will be that much more important.
Exactly. Have you ever had like a New Year's resolution like be successful? Has anything ever worked for you? If you've ever done any in the past?
I don't know. I don't think I stuck any like that. I don't know. Maybe in high school, like maintaining grades, that was one of my goals, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I honestly cannot think of a resolution, and I feel like I've probably like mentally made them every year almost. But I
Yeah.
can't think of a single one that I was like, wow, that really changed my life.
No, no. What I do want to do this year is I really like audiobooks, so I want to read one every week, which goes hand in hand with getting up and going for walks. If I go for even a half hour walk, I can probably get through an audiobook in 7 days.
Right.
Or yeah.
I have a list. I have like probably 20 books on my bookshelf right now, like all
Mhm.
lined up in order of things that I want to read.
Oh, that's what it was. It wasn't a book every week. It was like 20 books in a year. I wrote it down
Yeah,
because 54 books seems like a lot.
it does seem like a lot,
54.
especially like working from home right now. I find it hard to like read books because I read emails and read the internet
Yes.
all day, or I'm on the phone. And then if I just want to like read for 20 minutes during the day, I almost feel unproductive, even though I'm,
Don't you fall asleep though?
yeah,
I fall
sometimes.
asleep when I read like paper. Like I'll if I
Really,
try to read in the morning, I'll fall asleep on the couch.
really.
Confessions of a Financial Advisor. Yes. Well, but if it's playing and I'm walking, I'm fine. But if I'm reading, yeah.
I think I am the exact opposite. Sometimes I'll throw my headphones in, like especially when I'm laying in bed, like falling asleep, I'll throw a
Mhm.
podcast on and I can find myself falling asleep. But if I'm like physically sat up with a book in my hand,
Really
I'll get
interesting.
tired, but I don't think I would fall asleep.
Oh yeah, I will. I'm like
Like
an old.
full on fall asleep, book in your hand.
I'll like set it aside and then I'll fall
Yeah.
asleep. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. 20 books. I think I could do that. I'll do 20 books with you.
Write it down.
Yeah.
2021 list. I like, and that's where mine was kind of this like piece of paper that just had some words written on it. Oh, and I have a word for 2021. It's harmony. Because I think it's tough to like balance is a big one, but harmony for me, like I want my business and my personal life, like just harmony.
That's your focus for the year.
Yeah. And like creating a flow that feels good to me, whether that be like my client meetings, just like my weeks, how they're gonna go. And I want to run a half marathon.
Ambitious.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Like it'd probably take me 2.5 hours, but I just want to do it to be like I've ran that far.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like something you can tell people you met. Hey, I ran a half marathon.
Right.
They're not
Yeah.
going to be like, how long did it take you?
Yeah, that's true. That's
They'll
true.
just be like, wow, I'm impressed.
Walk a half marathon.
Exactly.
And just yeah, so I have like more support and grow local. I have boundaries down there as well, sharing my knowledge, connecting, taking care of myself. And I think part of it all too comes back to what we want to do more of, which is community work.
Yeah,
Community
I
work.
know we have a couple exciting things coming up this year. What kind of things, just going back to this, sorry, what kind of things are you doing or you planning on doing to keep those resolutions? Like for me, I know I really need personally to time block my entire week. Monday
Yes.
morning I get up and I schedule my entire week, or else I
Yeah.
feel like, oh, I'll just get that done in like a little bit, or and then it just gets pushed off and suddenly the week's over and I've gotten 1 out of 10 things on my list done.
Yeah. So I am time blocking. I am also taking a bit of time on Sundays to look at my week. Also like booking. I think I would like when clients want to talk about like mortgages or life insurance, I would like book everyone really and like stack my week, and then it would be too much and I wouldn't be able to like by the last client meeting, they're getting like the drops that are left in the bucket. Like it wasn't me. So being more mindful of how I'm scheduling clients. But time blocking is a big one and like following the schedule. Like if it tells me I'm doing something, then I should be doing something.
Right. How do you like commit yourself to doing that? Because I know sometimes even when I time block, I'm like, okay, I need to be sending out emails. I need to be lead generating for this 3 hour period. But then suddenly I'm sitting here and I get off the phone and I'm like, oh, I'll go on Facebook for 5 minutes. And suddenly it's 45 minutes later.
Yes. I usually like every day I'll have like a list too, and I want to get back to that where I'm like, okay, this is what I have to get done. So I'll have like my must and then like my can go to tomorrow, but if I leave it till tomorrow, like then it puts more work on tomorrow's plate. So having like a physical list of something I can cross off.
For the day. That's awesome. I love that idea actually,
Mhm.
because I am a hoe for lists.
Yes, I
I
love
love a good list. Checking things
yes.
off a list. I will sometimes write a list of things I've already done,
Already done.
check them off.
Just to have that feeling of like, ooh, that feels good. So little and yeah, like again, micro habits, but those little things of having that list. And if it's a client day, like right now there's gonna be homeschool days and I've gone back to school for my CFP too. So there's different days, but if that's the day, then that's the focus. And that might mean not checking my email until like 6 o'clock that night when I'm done this like the schooling or whatever it looks like, but sticking to it.
Right. Prioritizing and then just really just not going to bed until your list is done for your must-haves.
Yes and no. Because yes, but like sometimes, like when you were cramming for a test and then it's like you're not going to fit any more in. So you're going to either take twice the time doing it tired or put it on tomorrow as number one and like have that be your non-negotiable. Before you can have a coffee, you need to go do that.
Yeah, I feel like I did do that in high school, but then I would just like the next day I'd be like, okay, well, if I don't know it now, I'm never gonna know it.
Yeah,
So I'm over this type thing.
that's
So I
exactly
find
where I'd be like, okay, I'm at max capacity.
exactly. And I find if I give myself a little bit of leeway, I take a lot.
Yeah, okay, that's true. So maybe, and that's part of knowing yourself, right? Like, is being like, you're not like, and that's, I guess I'll do that. Like, I'm like, like, I can't go upstairs until I'm done this paperwork. And especially if like Travis is watching a movie or Grant's up there and I like want to do something, then I'm like, okay, well then finish your shit.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'll just run upstairs just to grab a coffee or something and then
Oh,
run right back down. And
no,
then
no, no.
on the way up, I'm
It doesn't work that
logically in
way.
my mind, I'm like, okay, I'll just sit and do work while I'm watching this movie with Travis or whatever it is. And
Yes.
then suddenly I'm full on watching the movie, bowl of popcorn in my lap, laptop way gone.
Yeah, I've forgotten about work. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I think for 2021, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna write a list every single day of what I need to get done that day and
Yes.
just no exceptions, get it done.
And it would be cool too if like start with like a sticky note, like a bigger one, right? And then as you're done it, like put it in like a file or whatever. And then at the end of the year, like you're like, wow, look at all my list. But then also if your list starts like this and it goes like this, then you move that to the next day, right? Like it just
Right. Or even just like a notebook. I might grab a
yeah.
fresh notebook and then every single day of the year write a list and then I can flip through 2022 and see all the things I got done.
And then that too, if you have to make like notes about a client meeting, then you can be like, oh, I had a call with them on Thursday, and then you go back Thursday and you see different things there. There's something else that came up in that conversation, but
Was it the popcorn bowl?
no, it's befuddled me.
I like that. Befuddled.
I think I made it up. I don't think that's not English.
No, it might be the title of this week's episode though.
Befuddled.
Befuddled.
2021.
Yeah. I love that. Owen, note that, please.
I mean, like overall for the year, I am excited. I'm excited to see how business is going to change because I know that with the lockdown, things are going to be a bit different. But I am excited to, again, it's another chance to be a better version of ourselves, right?
Exactly.
And I think, oh, that's what it was. It's come back to me. I read this somewhere, and it's like how like clients can't expect you to be able to take care of them if you don't take care of yourself. So part of that is like, hey, I have to take care of myself, my family, my clients, and then I want that to be like also a way that clients, when we meet, I'm like, well, like, how do you want to take care of your finances, right? Like, how do you want to take care of your family? Like, all about care in that sense. Self-care, personal care, financial care, just a big old care bear of 2021.
I loved that so much. Have you been experiencing like an even like more dramatic loss in clients with the lockdown?
Do you mean like less clients? Hold on, I'm just gonna
like yeah, less people kind of reaching out, less people interested right now just because people are more focused on staying at home, more focused on the pandemic.
Just a sec. I need to plug my laptop in.
It's dying. Oh no.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Happy 2021, first episode of New Network 2021, and we are already having technical issues. I'll drink my tea to that.
Okay. So I would say maybe I just feel very busy because like homeschooling is going to start back up again.
Yeah.
But in terms of clients, I've had a lot because we've like things haven't slowed down. I think if anything, people have maybe been like, oh, like they've been more motivated to get their financial lives together, I guess. So I've had a lot of people that have been wanting life insurance, mortgages with the rates being so low. That's been a really fun thing to work on with clients as well. And people that are getting a little bit realer about putting some money away for retirement or putting a plan in place for retirement. So maybe because my time has been shifted a bit, but I found there's been a lot of people that are like, okay, this has been on my plate. I just want to get it off my plate. Let's talk.
I guess that kind of makes sense too, because I think a lot of people have kind of seen this past year how quickly the world can change and how quickly, if you're not prepared, you
Right.
can sink.
And that's where like life can, yes. So living paycheck to paycheck, right? And also life can change on the dime. And what one person's death or passing can do to an entire family and can truly just change lives. So whether that's, or even not being able to work, like disability insurance, there's just so much that people I think are more aware of, and more of it has hit closer to home. I think before the pandemic, we were able to like read about a news article and be like, oh, but that wouldn't happen here. But now it's like, it's happening everywhere. So how can we protect ourselves? And I met with clients this week over Zoom, and I was talking about like the point of protecting before we plan, because we can save for retirement starting today. But if I don't have, let's say, life insurance, or if I don't have disability insurance and I can't work, then all of my retirement savings become income tomorrow. So it was just like a cool how let's protect. It's like kind of like the bumpers on like the bowling alley, when you're a kid and they put those up.
When you're
So
a
that's like
kid,
still happening. That's like the protection part to get you to your goals. We can plan for those goals, but we have to protect the journey to get there.
right? And I
Hands
think,
in there.
yeah, I loved it. That got really intense and I loved every second of it. But I think it was kind of like, because I was very secure in my job and secure in my finances before the pandemic. And like, I can picture my last serving shift so clearly. And I was living good, I was making bank. And then all of a sudden the restaurants closed.
Yeah.
This was before I got my real estate license. The restaurants closed. I have no income. I have savings, but we were in lockdown. We're still in lockdown almost a year later.
Right.
So yeah, I kind of wish that I had got my finances together a little bit beforehand, even like as early as high school. Like if I knew how much things were,
Oh,
I would
I
have
would have.
started saving. I did not need all of those lunches.
The lunches, the things. Yeah. Like just
If I
when
could
we,
go back and just tally up all the money I spent on
oh,
takeout lunches in high school,
we could probably like properly invested, we probably could have a down payment on a home.
100%, I bet you could.
At least 5%.
Yeah. Like it was like $10 a day. And like we would go like 3 times a week.
Oh yeah, but then like it was just like coffees and just like things that were very consumer. Like even I look at the clothes I bought, and now I could cycle through the same 7 outfits and I don't really care because I'm like, that's cool. I'm good with that. So just the different, I don't even like, we've transitioned, I would say, from more of a quantity to a quality now. And I'm enjoying it because it really makes me think of when I want to buy something, do I really need it? But it's like, you almost like you want to go back and talk to those people at that time, like high schoolers now, and be like, yo, don't get the truck, the insurance is awful, like get the car or whatever, like just those things.
Right. And I remember when I was younger and I got my first job and my mom was telling me like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take half of your paycheck and put it away. And then the other half, you can do whatever you want with it. And I was
Mhm.
like, absolutely not. I'm working for my own money. I'm going to keep it all. And now
Yeah.
I wish that she had done that. And like, I had been like, yeah, okay, that sounds great. But
Right.
I
Thanks for
wasn't
looking out
thinking,
for me.
yeah, like I definitely should have trusted my mother more in high school. And I know she listens. And please don't ever bring this up, Lyd. But yes, you were right about a
You
couple
were right.
things.
You were right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
But
would have to agree on that. Like my parents gave us a little bit of financial guidance, but there wasn't like,
there wasn't like a Val Stratford to tell them, hey,
yeah, get your money together, like develop habits now that will last you forever and you will be laughing.
exactly. And you'll just be in such a better place. Like I know there's a couple people from our high school who did have that mindset and are just absolutely killing it. Like they're set. They like a lot of people
Yeah.
have houses, have families.
Yeah.
That's
No,
just like a different experience for people.
yeah, but it's also, it's never too late, right?
Right. Um, back to the business side of things, I have experienced a little bit of another drop in clients, because I guess that's the difference between me and you, is like your business can be done, I think, mostly online, right? Like you do almost.
Yeah, even mortgages, like I could essentially, it's like um FCT, First Canadian Title, will just pure later the final paperwork to you, and like it is almost completely able to be done virtually as long as you have a like a scanner, that sort of abilities, then yeah.
Exactly. It's hard. It's nerve-wracking to have people in your home right now, though, and it's almost impossible to want to buy a property that you haven't seen.
Right, that would be
Like
tough too.
that would be very tough. It's like pictures are great, and you can and virtual tours are even better. Like you can get a really good idea of the house.
But you
But
can't
for
like
me,
feel that energy when you're in the
exactly,
house.
you can't like be there picturing, oh hey, I'm putting my bed there, like, and
Mhm.
that feeling of like I'm gonna make waffles there. Like it's just not the same.
Yes, so that, and like do you find that less people are moving too, like there's just less movement in the market?
The market was super, super strong before Christmas, but it's winter now as well. So people are dying down as well. Nobody wants to move Christmas. There's boxes everywhere.
So
Uh,
possibly spring is when you will see.
yeah, I think it's really going to depend on this lockdown and
Mhm.
how long it lasts and kind of the vaccine. And COVID, of course, is ruling our lives right now. And I don't think real estate is any different. I definitely see it picking up a little bit in the spring, even if COVID does continue as we are right now, just because, it's spring, it's 2021, people want a new
Different time,
change.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the market is
So
wonderful right now to
how
sell.
long,
So
like for you, how long do you think, or what's your guess on like, what's your feelings on lockdown? How long do you think it's going to last?
I don't think we're going to be out of lockdown at the end of January, like
Agreed.
we're supposed to. The numbers are still rising.
Mhm.
There was 89 cases in Tilsonburg the
Mm,
other day. That's wild.
yeah.
That's terrifying. Guelph doubled its numbers over a weekend last weekend.
Hmm.
And this is all without the Christmas kind of influx that I think is going to come from everyone
Right.
who did visit family and had those gatherings. Um, so yeah, I'm thinking like realistically, hopefully by summer, but
And that's where like my fear isn't contracting the virus, I don't think. But which may sound kind of, there's a word for it. But my fear is the healthcare system that can't support the numbers, right? Like
exactly.
ICUs, like say you had it and you were at the point where you needed oxygen, but they don't have any more oxygen. Like that's on us for not just even just playing a little bit more safe, like just wearing the mask, washing the hands, not going different places if we don't need to.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't think my biggest fear is like me personally getting the virus, because I
No.
think that I'm strong enough to survive it, but I definitely am afraid of like who I could pass it on to and who that could affect. Even if I like
Yes.
don't show signs and symptoms, you can still pass it on.
Right.
Uh,
Asymptomatic, isn't that what that's called? And yeah, you can
yes,
be a carrier of it.
and yeah, exactly, and exactly what you said. Like the hospitals are overloaded right now. If it, and like pregnant people who are giving birth, they can't. They have to do it by themselves, basically. Like
Right.
shout out
Like
to every mom who gave birth in 2020.
Christine Briggs.
Christine Briggs. Like she I remember we had a conversation a couple of months back when we were kind of like things were getting better, and I went and visited her a little bit. I remember her telling me like she had to go to all of her appointments alone, um, which is just sad. Like it's such a big milestone in their life,
Yeah,
and she had
like
to
you
do it
want to share
alone.
it with your partner, but it's different, and that's where, yeah, I think we just be mindful, be kind, wear a mask.
And it's those kind of things that kind of frustrate me, upset me a little bit, where people are like not taking it seriously.
Yeah, I was
Where
in
it's
our
like,
favorite Norwich Foodland last week, and there was a guy. He was like our age, just mask free,
I'm not
browsing
gonna
that meat
I'm not gonna
section.
say the business that I went to, but I didn't personally go, but like someone in my household did. They went to pick up our food, and the man who was making the pizza had a mask on, way up here, not covering his mouth.
Oh my gosh, like wore it on his nose.
Yeah, like I think it was just like a cross right here, but like pulled up so that his mouth could be out so that
Oh
he could
my
talk.
gosh.
It's like, guys,
Like just talk louder, please. What? Can't you hear me? Are we freezing out? Is this how we
I
wrap
think I
up?
might have lost you.
No, you're still there. Is this how we wrap up
Oh,
episode 7?
I guess so. Did I cut out or did you cut out?
I I don't know. I thought it was you, but the podcast will tell.
It could have been me. I'm not sure. But anyways,
That's fine.
I just want to talk a little bit about the podcast coming in 2021.
Mhm.
We got a couple of exciting things coming. Obviously, we're going to do a lot of more community involvement throughout the year as best
Yeah.
we can with kind of the restrictions that we have. I know we have a couple of plans.
Yeah. Spreading
like,
kindness as much as we
spreading
can.
kindness as well. And then I don't even know if I've talked to you about this, but I have a couple of guests lined up in the next couple of months. Some
Is
exciting.
Owen Canton one of them?
He has not confirmed nor denied,
Okay.
so
Fair.
I will leave it at that.
Okay.
But he might be persuaded.
Deal.
And then, yeah, just some more topics, more listening to Val and I talk about things. And yeah.
I have some guests that I want to bring on too, so that's cool. Yeah, just bringing on different people, different perspectives, talking about business, talking about being a young person in business, doing it different, how we adapt, and keeping yourself healthy while you do it all.
Exactly. I'm really excited for 2021 and I'm excited to see what we do.
Yeah, the new network, the holistic view. I love it all.
All right. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we get on out of here?
No, just take care of yourselves and remember, I don't know, just be grateful. Like just be grateful.
Be grateful. I love that.
Grateful.
We are back to our regular scheduled program, so we will be releasing new episodes every
Program.
Monday.
Yeah.
Pardon?
I love program.
Yeah, thank you.
Word,
I love that word.
you know?
So definitely check us out on Mondays. As always, if you like what you hear, if you like listening to Val and I talk about absolutely random things and everything, give us a follow, review, download our episodes, because that's what boosts us and gets us on charts, which is how we get more listeners.
Neato.
So download those episodes. And thank you guys all for the support and have a great year. And we will see you
next week.
Monday. Bye, guys.
Bye.